Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. My name is Benna. Today we are going to be making this super beginner friendly tote bag. It is quite versatile. It can be a market bag, a beach bag, or just a storage bag. This pattern is very easy and I'm going to show you how we achieve it. I also went ahead to make a bag charm for extra beauty. If you would like to see a separate tutorial for this, comment charm in the section below, and let's grab some materials and get started. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and turn on your notification bells so that you are aware when I upload a new video. So for the materials, I'm going to be using robin yarn 100% acrylic. I'm going to be doubling the strand. So that means I worked it with pairs. I used about 3 pairs and a half. I used a 4mm crochet hook, a darning needle, plus several stitch markers. You need so many of these. I'm not going to say a specific number. A measuring tape and then a pair of scissors. So those are the materials we shall be working with today. So for our bag, you're going to make 2 panels of the measurements you need for your bag. So mine measures 14 inches in width and 17 inches in length. You can make it to whatever height you want. So we need 2 panels of these that we are going to stitch in the sides. So I'm going to show you how we work this pattern to achieve the panels. So to begin, you're going to make a slip knot. Just grab your yarn. As I said, I'll be doubling my strand. And then we are going to make chains. And these chains have to be a multiple of 5. So I'm just going to make a simple sample of 40 chains, but my actual bag had 70 chains. So just make sure that your chains are a multiple of 5, and this is going to be the width of your bag. For me, this is just a sample, so I'm going to make 40 chains, and I'll show you my actual bag later. So after you've made the multiple of 5, you're going to chain 4 more. Just hold on to that last stitch you made and chain 4 more. And then now we are going to skip 5 chains. So count from where you ended and skip 5 chains, and then go into the next chain that you're looking at with a double crochet, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. That is 1 double crochet. So into the same chain we are going to work 2 more doubles. Insert your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2. And then we are going to chain 2 and work 1 more double crochet to that same chain. And now we are going to skip 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain you're going to make 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and then 1 more double crochet into the same chain. Skip 4 stitches and into the next make 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and then 1 more double crochet into that chain space. Skip 4 into the next, work the same thing that we've been doing. So you're going to continue with this same pattern until you reach the end, and when you get to the end you should have 3 chains left. Make sure you have 3 chains left towards the end. Keep on going like this and I'll meet you back at the end of your chain. So we have 3 chain stitches left, as I told you, and we're just going to yarn over and go into the last chain with a double crochet. So that is the end of row 1. For row 2 we are going to chain 3, turn, and now we are going to be working into the chain 2 spaces, those that appear like a V. So go into that first chain 2 space with 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet into the next V or the chain 2 space. Make 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet to the next 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1 more double crochet, and that is basically the pattern. Repeat, just keep on working the same thing into the V's or those chain 2 spaces that you're seeing. Yeah, that's how our pattern looks like. So keep going and I'll see you at the end to show you how we shall be concluding our rows. So keep up with this pattern and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of my round, and to complete we shall always be going into the last space over there with just 1 double crochet like that. So this is the row that we are going to keep on repeating basically till we get the height of our bag. It's just a repetition of this. So let me just show you one last time. You start with that chain of 3 always, and then go into the chain 2 space with 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into the next V or the chain 2 space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet. So just keep going, and when you reach the end you will make a double crochet just like I had shown you previously. Keep working till you get the desired height for your bag. And for my case, I was also still building my second panel. This is my actual bag now. I already made 1 panel, so this is my second panel. And you can see how beautiful this drunken granny stitch looks like. So for my first panel, I worked 29 rows. So I'm going to make sure that even for this next panel, I have the same number of rows. Just work 2 panels with the exact number of rows, and we shall be back to see how to do next. Okay, so I was able to finish my 2 panels, each with 29 rows, and I've basically put them together because now it's time for us to join the sides. So just put the right sides together, and honestly with this pattern it's even kind of hard to tell which is the right side because both sides are both beautiful. So go ahead and place your stitch markers on the sides. For my case, I was able to only put them on one side because I don't have enough like to go all the way to the other side to the bottom, but that's why I told you at the beginning that you'll need several stitch markers. So these are my sides. We are basically just going to be joining the sides together, the two sides and the bottom. So just go ahead and arrange your work. If you do have enough stitch markers, put the markers on one side, the bottom, and then on another side, and obviously one side will stay open as the bag opening. So just arrange it as you see me do here, and yeah, put your stitch markers. And now we are going to grab our darning needle to start whip stitching the sides together. So thread your tapestry needle or your darning needle and just do away with that first stitch marker. And for the side, I'm joining one side first, so just go into the corner there. Make sure your thread is a double thread. Just pull it through the corner like that, and then go back into the same end to end. And then you have like a little loop left. Go through that loop and make a knot. This is just for extra security before we begin the entire whip stitching. So after I'm done making a secure knot, I'm just going to go stitch to stitch. You're just going to eyeball this. There is no like rocket science to it. Just eyeball and go stitch to stitch, like the stitch you're looking at and the stitch on the opposite end. So this is what we call whip stitching. Alternatively, you can use a your crochet hook to make single crochets to join this, whichever is better for you. So just keep on joining end to end with your darning needle. You have to be extra careful with this because it can get a little bit tangled, mostly if you're already using a very long thread. So it needs a bit of patience. So take your time and just keep on whip stitching. So you're going to do that till you reach the end of the first side, and then we shall switch to the bottom. So after whip stitching one side of the bag, I was able to transfer the stitch markers now to the bottom side. So just keep on going with the same motion of end to end, stitch to stitch. So now it's time for us to switch to the bottom part. We're basically just going to be doing the same thing. The stitch markers are just for us, make it easier for us to just hold everything in place so that we don't have uneven edges. It's just easier to have them holding the work so that you don't struggle to align this. So bottom part, we are just doing the same thing. Keep on with the whip stitching. So you're going to keep going till the end, and when you're done, transfer the stitch markers onto the other side and do the same thing. Just keep whip stitching, and then you're going to obviously leave one side open. That is going to serve as our back opening. So let me just keep going, and I'll meet you guys when you're done as well. Okay, so I was able to finish seaming the sides and the bottom, and now it's time for us to proceed. And also I turned my work to the right side, so the seams are inside. Turn your work to the right side after you're done joining, and now it's time for us to work on our handles for the bag. Okay, so for the handles or the straps, I've been able to work two of them already on one side of the bag, one top area of the bag. We need a total of 4 of these. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Do not worry. We are going to do the exact same thing on the opposite end. And for the straps, I worked with single crochets because I wanted something that was extra strong. And the single crochets are really firm and that they can hold really well. So let's see how we go about the handles. So just not to confuse you, let me first do away with this stitch marker. So you're going to grab your bag and fold it in half. We are basically going to first determine the midpoint of our bag at the top area. So fold it into two. That will give us the half of the bag. Alternatively, you can just measure with your tape measure to get that midpoint. But for me, this is simple. I just fold it in half to determine the mid area. So I'm going to put this stitch marker on one side, and for my case, since I already have the straps on one side, I'm just going to put the marker on the side that doesn't have the straps yet. So that is our midpoint, the part that now has the stitch marker. So you're going to grab your tape measure and take the width of your bag at the moment. So mine was at first 14, but now it measures 15, which is still perfectly fine. And you can see the stitch marker bounces at exactly 7.5. So that means, yeah, this is actually an accurate placement of the stitch marker. So just get the half or the midpoint of the bag, and then you're also going to further divide that measurement you got into two. So just fold your tape measure like this as you see me doing, and get the midpoint from the edge to that stitch mark, and mine is about 3 3/4. So go to the corner of the bag and measure that value that you got. Mine is 3 3/4. So I'm going to make sure I don't lose that stitch where that measurement ends, and I'll place a stitch marker onto it like that. And then even on the other side, I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to the edge of the bag and measure out that measurement I got, which is 3 3/4. In case this gets confusing, please feel free to ask any questions down below. So after I've gotten also that point where that measurement ends, I'll also go ahead and place a stitch marker there. This is the same thing you would do on the opposite side as well. Just make sure at the end of the day you're going to have 4 straps. You just do exactly what I've done this side on the opposite side. I hope that makes sense. So you're further going to divide this measurement where the stitch marker is. I want my strap to measure 1 inch. So I'm going to divide 1 into 2. That gives me half on one side and half on another side. So I'm going to evenly distribute the 1 inch. So that is half and half on either side of the stitch marker. So just mark half on one side of the marker and also half on the other, but this is also totally up to you depending on how wide you want your strap to be, but mine 1 inch is just totally fine. So if you're looking at this right now, the green and red give me the width of my strap. That is exactly 1 inch. Okay, so since I don't have enough stitch markers, I can't also demonstrate on that other side, but you'll do the same thing as I've done here. You follow the same instructions for all the straps, that measurement to get the 1 inch, like how you achieve the 1 inch. So for this strap, I was able to distribute a total of 6 single crochets along that 1 inch. So make sure that the number of stitches you've distributed to get the first strap is the one that you maintain for all your straps, because we cannot have one strap with 8 stitches and the other one with 6 maybe, because it will not make sense. The straps will not be balanced at the end of the day in width. So make sure that your chains measure the same. Of course you may have to reduce or decrease some, but it's perfectly fine. Just make sure that at the end the width and the chains are all the same, so that we don't have something that's not looking equal. So now I'm just going to thread my hook. I'm going to make a loop, a slip knot, and now it's time for me to work the strap. So connect it at that first point where you have the first stitch marker. Connect it right there. Chain 1. And now we are going to distribute the single crochets from where we started to that last stitch marker. So for my case, I'm going to make sure I bounce back with 6 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see, the 5th one ends almost at the stitch marker. So what I'll do, I'll go back into the last chain I did with another single crochet, and then lastly 1 single crochet into that point where the stitch marker ended. But this is not a must. I had to increase simply because I had to balance. I don't know if that makes sense. So just make sure the first strap you do is going to be like the one that determines how all the other straps will turn out. So for my case, I had to maintain the 6, and even if I increased, it's totally fine. It will not even show. So chain 1 and turn your work, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so that means you're going to go into the very first stitch with a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my 6 single crochets are right there. Chain 1, turn your work, make a single crochet into the first stitch, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is the row we are going to repeat till we get the height of our strap. And for my strap, lengthwise, I was able to work a total of 48 rows, and it measures around 12.5 inches. So you're going to work that last row till you get the desired length of your strap, ensuring that all the other straps will have the same rows, the same width. Just feel free to rewind this video to the point where I started to make that strap that I've just demonstrated, and do the same exact thing. Get the midpoint, take the measurement from the edge to the midpoint and get the center, further divide it into 1 inch. Okay, just rewind and make sure you do the exact same thing I did for that strap I've just demonstrated. Okay, and we'll be back to join them at the top. Make sure that you bounce back with 4 straps. Okay, repeat the same instructions, and we shall have 4 straps at the end of the day. I hope that really makes sense. So okay, I was done, and these are my 4 straps. I'll take care of the loose ends later. So now it's time for us to join them. So you're going to grab the ones at the first panel you're looking at. We are going to seam them together. So arrange them in the way that they are close to not being twisted. I'm sorry for this part, it didn't really show, but I think the next part will show better when I'm doing the ones of the back. So just arrange them in a way that if you're to seam them together, because our seam is going to appear on the inside, so hold them in a way that the seam is inside, and then hold it to make sure that it's not looking twisted. So it's like you're sort of putting your right sides together and then just sort of eyeballing to see where the seam will fall. So once you're happy with the point where you feel they are not going to be twisted, so this is just like me holding my right sides together, just assuming these are right sides, because As I said, this is a very neat pattern. You can't even tell which is the right or the wrong side, but just know we are going to have a seam on the inside. It's not going to appear at the top. I'll show you what I mean at the after I'm done. So just make a knot, and once again grab your hook, because we are going to seam the first part of the strap together. So connect your hook into one stitch first, go through and chain one. So I'm going to connect these two with single crochets. So go into every stitch with one single crochet, like stitch to stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lastly 6, because I had 6 single crochets, so that perfectly makes sense. So before I proceed to cut this, I'll first confirm that my strap looks exactly as I want it to look. So just flip to the right side now, and I think I'm quite satisfied. It's not twisted in any way, and the seam is appearing on the inside. So once I'm happy with that, now I can go ahead and chain up one and then cut. So that is my first strap done. So you can see what I was meaning. The seam doesn't appear on our right side. We don't have a seam line appearing at the top of our work. So we're going to do the same exact thing at the back part. So grab the back part. One strap is done. Now this is the second panel. It also has its own strap. So I think this time around the camera is showing it better. So arrange the straps in a way that they are not twisted. And when you also do the mock-up of the seam joining, just observe what I'm doing. Pretend that we've seamed this together and then hold it up to see whether the strap is not twisted in any way. So once I was sure about that, I once again got my crochet hook and just joined it to the join it. You can even join into both. It's not a must first go into one. Just make a chain and start to join the stitches. Do not miss any. Just make sure you join them properly and balance properly to the total number of stitches you had for the width of the strap. So before cutting, as I said once again, first confirm that the strap is exactly what you want. No seam appearing. If it's not, you can undo, but for my case I feel quite happy with it. It's not twisted. I already chained one, so I'm just going to cut the yarn now. Yeah, and that is also it for our second strap. So our two straps are ready. We've joined the two straps on both panels. So that's basically it for our beautiful tote bag. Just now have to weave in all those ends. So use your darning needle to weave in all the loose ends, and I'll be back to show you the final bag. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more amazing tutorials. Cannot wait to see you in my next one, and take care and bye for now.